One arcade machine for all your light gun needs. I'm here with Custom Arcade, having the latest machine from China. This is the Arcade Shooter Slim Edition, dedicated to light gun gaming. Where most of the machines are dedicated to this games family or in Pandora's box, this is just another level with a completely built-in image that has absolutely a crazy amount of different games you can play. There are actually no limitation because this runs on Windows in combined with the big box. So what we can expect is having a 2-player setup with pedals and having the option to play all kinds of cool games, from the old school Time Crisis and Virtual Cop all the way up to the latest Time Crisis number 5. The latest Time Crisis can be played with a 2-pedal configuration, and the control panel, we don't have any main game compatibility. This thing is completely dedicated to the light gun games. Yeah, we have no buttons for, let's say, playing games like Tekken. Nope, it's just like buttons like play one, start, credits, and having just the option to start again or going back to the main menu. But the main controls are just being used throughout the gun itself. With the original kit of Retro Shooter, we're having the blue and the red light gun, and exactly the same with this machine. But let's get this show on the road and let's chit chat about the light guns and the arcade machine itself. Yeah. So this is actually a beautiful cabinet, but we don't have any controls on the control panel because everything is going to be controlled with the light gun itself. Because this thing does have a built-in joystick and it's just super convenient if you want to like scroll through the list of games that you can actually play. In combination with a couple of buttons over here, for example pressing the exit over here will give you an option to go back to the previous menu. Well, what is the difference if you're going to be comparing this with a Pandora's Box 10? It's going to be different because we're having a Windows PC built in. Then we're having all kinds of different, let's say, systems. In combination with Techno Pirate, a lot of arcade related stuff. Laserdisc, you name it. Xbox is absolutely nuts. And even the Wii can be found on here. So where the Dreamcast and other message systems have been found on Pandora's Box 10, we do have limitations with the Pandora's Box 10, but we don't have it with this particular machine and the Windows PC in the inside. I've mentioned before that we're going to be doing navigation through, let's say, Retro Shooter light gun. Super convenient, but if you have some problems, you can always get yourself a keyboard, you can navigate, but also start up games. So actually these are the two ways to play when it comes to, let's say, the slim arcade machine with the built-in PC. Oh, yeah, much better.
Please be safe, Gene. How could anyone do this?
Because of that. Let's go. Let's move on into the confidential mission. Okay, so first of all, let's take a close look at the PlayStation 1 emulator. This is not an emulator, it can also be played on a Pandora's Box 10, so you don't need to have like a PC. But it's kind of interesting, we can do some upscaling if you're going to be using the right emulator with the right configuration when it comes to, let's say, the mini PC. Also, we have a Crosshair with the PlayStation emulator automatically, and yeah, you can shut it down, but you need to get into the program. I'm just going to leave it as it is now. This is going to be a fun experience. I can still remember that I've played this game a lot. But I can use the side button for reloading. That is so convenient. Okay, what's kind of cool that we can have PlayStation 2 emulation with light guns. That is something I've personally never seen before besides this machine itself. I think it still runs on native resolution, also here. It would be fun to see if you can like, do some crazy upscaling, let's say about 4K emulation, and this machine itself. The Pandora box itself has been set to, let's say, not a rapid fire because of like the first generation games we've played. Holding the joystick will activate the rapid fire, and that's going to be absolutely fun if you're going to be playing some PlayStation 2 rail shooters. But let's take a close look at some PlayStation 3, and that's absolutely amazing. If you're going to have sending the machine to the, let's say, the real shooting mode, that is absolutely great, man. This works very well. In combination with the PlayStation 3 Emulator, the game looks amazing. So let's get into the Techno Pirate. We're having so many cool games in here. So let's check out if we can skip it. There we go. And we can also do this with two guns at the same time. Absolutely not. So with the Crosshair not enabled, it's going to be so much more difficult to play. Really need to get used to where the aim is. I'm completely sucking at this game. Doesn't matter. So when it comes to the arcade game, you can just play this on Pandora's box too, or a retro shooter itself. So you don't really need to have like an arcade cabinet. It's a lot of fun. And it's actually the first time I've actually seen Xbox Classic on a machine like this. So that is even like the positive thing about when it comes to having this on a PC running with Windows. And maybe in the future we can have like Battlezera. That would be even more like superior than having Windows. This was absolutely amazing. But all kinds of cool games like the Model 3 we can actually play. We can use off the screen, but we can also reload with the button. And of course using the pedals is also another way to play. But you can see underneath that we're having 3 games on this particular emulator. And NES is going to be slightly more with 13 games. But let's get into, let's say, the Wii for example. We're having Ghost Squad and a lot of cool, like familiar games, even House of the Dead. So House of the Dead is a system or a game itself that has been seen on many different occasions when it comes to, let's say, other emulators. Okay, next up, Thomas Wave is a system that I personally know of when it comes to some other gaming that we're particularly having on the Pandora's box. But I have a lot of games in there that I have never played before, like Ranger Mission, never seen those. Let's see what we're having with the Dreamcast in here. We're finding all kinds of old school classics. House of the Dead 2 is in here, like I mentioned before. Having multiple like Houses of Death, the Death Crimson OX, Confidential Mission, I think that one was also on the Pandora's box 10. Sega Genesis, and yeah, there's only one particular game on the Sega Genesis, the Manager 6 game cartridge included. Master System, Sega M2, let's see, in House of the Dead number 1 is over here, Virtual Cop number 2 and number 1. Model 3, having here over here the Lost World of Jurassic Park, and some other, not a lot of games. Naomi, another system that has a lot of hidden gems over there. PlayStation 1, let's see what we're getting into this. Having the Judge Dredd over there, like the Point Blank games. The reason why there was only Point Blank 3, what I understand of that, we have the arcade version of those. The Die Hard Trilogy game that I personally never played with a light gun. PlayStation 2, another great system with Ninja Assault, Time Crisis 2 and 3, Vampire Knights, Virtual Cop Elite Edition and Crisis Zone. So all kinds of different cool titles, and with the PlayStation 3 you don't have a lot of different ones, but you can just see you having Deathstorm Pirates and Time Crisis 4. And of course Techno Pirate is one of the most coolest one. Having some of the games are like Patreon related, like you need to have a Patreon account, otherwise you cannot boot up the Terminator Salvation. And there are a couple of more games out there that have the similar problems. Alien Armageddon and Extermination, some classic ones that I've shown before on the channel. But you can see there is so much that we can play. It's absolutely nuts. how much there is on here. Next up, Windows. We have a Windows. We're having so many cool things. Some, let's say indie game looking like games that can be played on this. And of course a lot of, let's say, classic ones that can even be found in the arcades today. Alright, so in here we're finding two power supplies for 5V, 12V that will give the power to all of the machines in the inside. In here we're finding the PC with launch box and everything that is basically like running on, configured by the correct wars, if I'm saying it correctly. That's the guy who made the image, and everything has been configured by him. So one of the new additions to this arcade machine that we're having a subwoofer, and it's absolutely amazing overall experience. But that's what we're finding in the heart of the machine. So when it comes to the retro shooter, I think it's absolutely a great addition to the machine itself. Of course, you can upgrade it with different light guns in the future, but out of the box, or as I said, like out of the crate, this machine is absolutely a crazy beast with all kinds of different emulators to be playing with. Thank you all for watching, consider subscribing, and it would be great to see you in the next video.